These strange things happening are connected to someone. Also, it seems they are acting in accordance with a command, in which case these matters contain a talisman. Yes, everything is happening at the command of a hidden ruler, therefore I'm not alone. The hidden ruler is watching me. He is testing me. He is impelling me somewhere for some purpose and inviting me there. A curiosity arising from this pleasant fear and these agreeable thoughts prompt me to say, I wonder who it is that is testing me, wants to make himself known, and is impelling me for some purpose on this strange road. Then, love for the owner of the talisman arose out of the desire to know him, and from that love arose the desire to solve the talisman, and from that desire arose the will to acquire good qualities which would please and gratify the talisman's owner. Then he looked at the tree and saw it was a fig tree, but it was bearing the fruits of thousands of trees. So then all his fear left him, for he understood that for certain the fig tree was a list, an index, an exhibition. The hidden ruler must have attached samples of the fruits in the garden to the tree through a miracle and with a talisman, and must have adorned the tree in a way that would point to each of the foods he had prepared for his guests. For there is no way a single tree could produce the fruits of thousands of different trees. Then he began to entreat that he would be inspired with the key to the talisman. He called out, O ruler of this place, I have happened upon you, and I take refuge with you. I am your servant, and I want to please you. I am searching for you. After he had made this supplication, the walls of the well suddenly parted, and a door opened onto a wonderful, pleasant, quiet garden. Indeed, the dragon's mouth was transformed into the door, and both it and the lion took on the forms of two servants. They invited him to enter. The lion even became a docile horse for him. O my lazy soul, and O my imaginary friend, come, let us compare the position of these two brothers, so that we can see how good comes of good and evil comes of evil. Let us find out. The unhappy traveller on the left road is all the time trembling with fear, waiting to enter the dragon's mouth, while the fortunate one is invited into a blooming, splendid garden full of fruit. And the unfortunate one's heart is being pounded by an awful terror and grievous fear, while the fortunate one is gazing at and observing strange things as a delightful lesson, with a pleasant fear and loving knowledge. Also, the miserable one is suffering torments in desolation, despair, and loneliness, while the fortunate one is enjoying himself, full of hope, longing, and a sense of belonging. Furthermore, the unfortunate one sees himself as a prisoner subject to the attacks of wild beasts, while the fortunate one is an honoured guest who is on friendly terms and enjoying himself with the strange servants of his generous host. Also, the unhappy one is hastening his torments by indulging in fruits which are apparently delicious, but in fact poisonous. For the fruits are samples. There is permission to taste them so as to seek the originals and become customers for them, but there is no permission to devour them like an animal. But the fortunate one tastes them and understands the matter. He postpones eating them and takes pleasure in waiting. Moreover, the unfortunate one is wronging himself. Through his lack of discernment, he is making a truth and situation which are as clear and bright as daylight into a dark and oppressive fear, into a hellish delusion. He does not deserve pity, nor does he have the right to complain to anyone. For example, if a person at a pleasant banquet in a beautiful garden in summer among his friends makes himself drunk through filthy intoxicants, and then imagines himself hungry and naked in the middle of winter among wild animals and starts shouting out and crying, he does not deserve to be pitied. He is wronging himself, and he is insulting his friends by imagining them to be wild beasts. Thus, the unfortunate brother is like this. But the fortunate one sees the truth, and the truth is good. Through perceiving the beauty of the truth, the fortunate brother is being respectful towards the truth's owner. So he deserves his mercy. Thus, the meaning of the Quranic decree: know that evil is from yourself and good is from Allah, becomes clear. If you make a comparison of other differences in the same way, you will understand the evil commanding soul of the first brother has prepared a sort of hell for him. And while the good intention, good will, good character, and good thoughts of the other have allowed him to receive abundant bounty, experience true happiness and prosperity, and displaying shining virtue. O my soul, and O you who is listening to this story together with my soul, if you do not want to be the unfortunate brother and want to be the fortunate one, listen to the Quran, obey its decrees, adhere to them, and act according to them. If you have understood the truths in this comparison, you will be able to make them correspond to the truths of religion, the world, man, and belief in Allah. I shall say the important ones, then you deduce the finer points yourself.